What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster, and we have seen a ton of desperation in the video game industry this year. 2024 has been a bloodbath, but when you come face to face with the absolute peak of pathetic desperation, there can be only one response.
Oh look, an idiot. Let's point and laugh.
For as much shit as we've been giving BioWare lately, and it's absolutely well deserved, I still think the king of the losers in 2024 has been Ubisoft. They are at the top of the heap when it comes to desperation. Nothing they have done has worked. Everything has been rejected, and they are so eager to try to win back popular favor that these unscrupulous bozos have gotten caught sponsoring content that is pro-Ubisoft in an attempt to sucker people into liking their games.
Love me! I did.
This image here has been going around on social media because apparently Ubisoft, as you can see here, is now paying to have videos like this one pop up in people's feeds as an advertisement of sorts. On the one hand, some people out there might admire their tenacity as a company.
A little fighting, you know. I like that.
But on the other hand, the fight that they're bringing to the table is the equivalent of a misguided jackass bringing a knife to a nuclear conflict. So, try as they might to sway people's opinions of them, this sad little attempt to push back is just like everything else they've done this year.
Pathetic.
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to refer to it as these days. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. But anyways, let's take a look at this sponsored content that Ubisoft paid for people to see. For full context, Star Wars Outlaws, as we all know, was a massive disappointment for Ubisoft. Yes, they previously announced that the game sold 1 million copies, but a game with a budget as massive as this one needed to sell far, far more in order to become profitable. So, 1 million copies, though it sounds impressive, is not the big deal that game journalists want you to believe that it is. And let's face it, Star Wars is a shell of its former self. Millions and millions of people who at one point would have purchased any game just because it has Star Wars in the title. Millions of us no longer consider Star Wars even a thing that we like at all. However, there are still people who get hyped up for stuff like this just because of the game's name. I call these people the cultural auto intake crowd. They are incapable of critically looking at something like Star Wars Outlaws or Dragon Age the Veilguard. They're incapable of critically looking at them and admitting that they look like shit. They have to buy it, and they have to find out for themselves. But anyhow, in the wake of the failure of this game of Star Wars Outlaws at launch, Ubisoft came crawling back to Steam. They need capital really bad, so they're going to try to milk this game for all that it's worth. Outlaws launches on the platform in about a week, so with all of this context in mind, this video here was caught being sponsored on YouTube. It's a fairly bland, pro Star Wars Outlaws video from a channel that has only about 3,000 subscribers. The sponsorship doesn't seem to have worked in any event though. This video definitely has more views than the channel usually gets. However, after over a week, it's only at 3,000 views, and it is ratioed because a bunch of us tracked it down as gamers usually do in these situations, and we let them know exactly what we think of them. The comment section is freaking hilarious. This guy, as an example, wrote, "Ubisoft is going out of business, and sponsoring shitty content like this isn't gonna save them." And then this dude said, "You are a small, beginning YouTuber. Is it really worth it to throw all of your credibility out the window at this point?" And now, to be clear, I disagree with the views of this YouTuber. I think the dude doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, but I don't actually blame him for the sponsorship of his video. He claims he didn't know about the sponsorship ahead of time in the comment section. It's quite possible, and actually it's probably even likely, that Ubisoft simply paid YouTube to promote it, and that was that. Now personally, attack vectors such as comments like this one, going after the game and not the content creator, that makes much more sense to me. In response to the video's title, claiming Star Wars Outlaws was amazing, this dude wrote, "Amazing is a strong word. It's a barely passable experience, rife with bugs and quality of life issues, and Ubisoft should be ashamed of themselves for not exercising stricter quality control measures and letting something this mediocre slip through the cracks." To me, that pretty succinctly beats Star Wars Outlaws down and sums up the whole situation nicely. Ubisoft is a freaking joke. It's no wonder their stock price is still down in the dumps. This is a company without scruples, getting caught doing eye-rollingly pathetic shit like this. Whether or not this content creator is a bought and paid for shill doesn't really matter at the end of the day. This tactic is so meager, it's so cringy, it is completely emblematic of everything Ubisoft does as a company nowadays. Everything that they've put out this year has failed for them. Skull and Bones flopped massively after Ubisoft claimed it was the first quadruple A game. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, didn't sell well at all, and they just closed down the studio that made it. Star Wars Outlaws was a major disappointment, and Assassin's Creed Shadows was supposed to come out in November here, but they pushed the game back because they knew it was going to fail as well, and they wanted to give it a facelift before it came out. Now, Star Wars Outlaws releases on Steam in a little over a week, and it's evident that nobody gives a shit. Most of the cultural auto intake people will have purchased the game already on the Xbox or the PlayStation. This release will be a tiny blip on the radar, but I suppose when you're as strapped for cash as Ubisoft is these days, any extra money they can bring in will be a help. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your mockery of Ubisoft and Star Wars Outlaws into the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.